What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another review of The Mandalorian. This time we will be reviewing Chapter 15 of The Mandalorian, The Believer, also Season 2, Episode 7, which means we only have one more episode left, which is Friday. So this is the penultimate episode of Season 2. We're going to get into all the things that I liked about this episode, and I wanted to kind of address something a bit about where I've been over the past few days. I had other videos planned, but due to a very personal thing that happened, I'll just come out and say it. What's going on, McWilliam? My grandmother passed away from COVID this past weekend on Thursday. It was very, very tough for me. I had to step away for a few days. So some videos that I had planned ultimately are now kind of on hiatus. And it's unfortunate. It was very, very unexpected. And my grandma was a big part of my life. But anyway, I'm back. I'm ready to make content. And that's also why I didn't go and make do my review on Friday. I just did not feel up to it. Mitchell, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the condolences. So yeah, I stepped away from YouTube for a few days, and Twitch, twitch.tv/NickTalksFlix if you want to go check me out. But I did do a live day stream on Saturday, and I'll be streaming again today. But it was just it's been tough dealing with it. Again, I was very close to my grandma, and having her pass because of COVID has been something that's been very, very hard on my family. So I had to step away for a few days. I did watch the Disney Investors Day. I do want to talk about those announcements, and I'll do it in a future video, I think, going over the Star Wars stuff specifically. So stay tuned for that, as well as I will be celebrating Life Day tomorrow on my channel, on this YouTube channel right here, where I will be talking about both the Lego Holiday Special and the regular holiday special in the Star Wars universe. But I want to talk about this episode, Season 2, Episode 7, or Chapter 15, The Believer. And one thing that we get to see from this episode is we get the character of Mayfeld back. Mayfield, I guess, is the character played by Bill Burr. And I really didn't like this character a lot from Season 1. I thought his character was a little too just not for me. There were certain things that he said, there were certain things that he did that I kind of felt were very contradictory to what the character was supposed to be intended for. And so they bring him back into the fold. You see why Mando needs him for this mission, which their mission is to go inside of this Imperial base, be able to find out and track Moff Gideon, and so that way they can essentially, get the child back into the safe hands of the Mandalorian and his friends. And this mission played out kind of what we've seen in other episodes, where it's almost like a side mission. This is the build-up for what we're going to see coming this Friday when it's the season finale, which I am so excited for, but at the same time, very, very sad that there's only one episode left of this great season. This has been a phenomenal season of The Mandalorian, and I've liked every episode except for episode 2. I like this episode. I thought it played really well onto the strengths of what the show does in terms of giving us the action, making us feel that tension, especially with the Empire and the Imperial side of things, and the way that they're still trying to find somewhat of this control on this side of the galaxy. Now, I loved also the Imperial officer Val Hess, played amazingly by Richard Brake. I am so happy that he's in the Star Wars universe now. His character is a part of Star Wars canon, and it was really cool to see him because I've been a big fan of Richard Brake. He's probably the best thing about most of the Rob Zombie movies. But I was very happy with what they ended up giving us in this episode, because there's a central conflict in this episode. It's not just about trying to get these coordinates so that way they can track down Moff Gideon and his ship, but you find this conflict with Mando, and basically he ends up taking off the Mandalorian armor, the helmet. He ends up kind of trying to blend in as a stormtrooper. And I thought that that was really cool. But there's a side to him now. Things are starting to kind of grind more into his head about what it is that he represents. Is he actually supposed to be this foundling Mandalorian that's, is a part of this, extreme creed of Mandalorian? Or maybe are we starting to see him kind of slowly start to descend into this conflict, this personal conflict of who he actually is? Maybe he should be joining Bo-Katan's clan. Maybe he shouldn't be a Mandalorian at all. I mean, there's a lot of things that this episode really kind of points to, and I really love that because we also get to see Pedro Pascal's face. I knew that we were going to see his beautiful face. It was destined to be. What's going on, Jeff? How you doing, man? Welcome in. It was destined to be this way. We were supposed to see Pedro Pascal's beautiful, charming face. I knew it was only a matter of time. And that was a very tense sequence, actually, to be honest with you. And I like the fact that Bill Burr basically says, hey, look, I didn't see your face, man. I didn't even see you. And I think that that was kind of a way for him, in a way, to get that okay, that this is fine. You're still a Mandalorian. And Bill Burr has some really interesting, parts of dialogue here, because the dialogue that he has through most of this episode is the way that he doesn't understand, and the hypocrisy of the Mandalorian and these creeds that kind of believe in one thing, and how it's almost one-sided in the way that they think. And I think that that really points to a lot of the issues that our Mandalorian, Din Djarin, has had throughout most of season 2 and a little bit of season 1. And you can kind of start to see that he's starting to think of these things. He's starting to kind of figure out, okay, maybe there's some truth here. Obviously hanging out with people like Bo-Katan and Boba Fett. I mean, these are two huge, influential people in terms of Mandalore and the society of what is known as the Mandalorian Creed. And so maybe he's starting to see a different type of viewpoint here. And maybe he's seeing, I can still be a Mandalorian, but not have to kind of be sheltered away. And especially when it comes to this kid, because I feel like the child has really helped this character grow even more, to the point where the child is basically now helping him understand responsibilities and know that there's more to life than being hidden and not being recognized, not being known. And I think having hit that kind of that moment where he took off the helmet so that way he can scan his face for the coordinates. Number one, he was thinking about the child. The child comes first. It's the most important thing right now to him, and he's willing to die for the child. Number two, he also was probably thinking, look, they've never seen my face ever. No one knows who I am. No one knows I'm Din Djarin. No one knows that I'm the Mandalorian. I'm wearing a stormtrooper outfit. My face is not plastered everywhere where people recognize who I am. So in a way, he kind of has this blank slate where no one knows who he is. And so I think that that's really interesting, that this episode really kind of ties to a lot of things that he's personally asking. These are things that we as an audience have also asked over the past couple of weeks, ever since Bo-Katan and her troopers showed, and her Mandalorian army kind of showed up, or friends or whatever. Her group, I should say, showed up. I think that we've been having these questions and having the show basically answer these questions, and not only answer these questions, but solidify that our Mandalorian, Din Djarin, is having the exact same questions. He's questioning everything that he knows. So really cool stuff. I loved a lot of what this episode presented in that retrospect. This episode was really solid. And I thought the entire time as I was watching this episode play out, I thought to myself, like, this is a great episode, but I don't love it until the last minute. The last minute was one of the best circular arguments I've ever seen in any show. It was fantastic. It sets the stage. We go back to the Imperial ship that Grand Moff Gideon is at. And Moff Gideon now, I love this character. I love seeing him. He's not in the show enough, in my opinion. I feel like I would just like to have one episode maybe even dedicated to him, to be honest. But we know that he has this obsession with the child. He has this obsession with the Force. We know all of this, obviously. He has the child in his possession, and he gets a message from Mandalorian, from Mando, from Din Djarin. And he says everything to a T of what Moff Gideon told him in season 1, in the penultimate episode of season 1. Amazing. Amazing. That was incredible. I had the biggest smile on my face. I fist pumped the air. I was ready. I'm like, dude, I'm ready to watch this season finale. Let's go. Let's get it. I can't wait to see what they do with these characters, because we know there's going to be some type of final confrontation between Moff Gideon and Din Djarin, the Mandalorian. Now, whether or not Bo-Katan and her group are going to be there, I have no idea. Ahsoka, no, not going to happen. I think Ahsoka, that's very isolated, especially with all the news that we got about them making Ahsoka Tano show and all this stuff. I don't think we're seeing Ahsoka Tano and the Mandalorian ever again. That's just my opinion. Now, I think that this is going to set up the stage for a big climactic battle in a sense. I don't think it's going to be huge, but it's still pretty big. I think that they're going to intercept each other. They're going to find Moff Gideon. Maybe even on the ship they battle. But it's going to be Din Djarin, our Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Finnick, which I really love the character Finnick. She's great. We have Cara Dune, and I honestly think that we might see Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan might be there. She finds out where he is. She tries getting the Darksaber back, and it kind of brings this whole like rebel outlaw type of thing. Now, are we going to see Mayfield? That's the question, because they leave him to let him basically walk free. Is he going to be in this fight? I'm going to guess no. I don't know if we're ever going to see Mayfield again, to be completely honest with you. But if we do, I'm not going to complain, because obviously there's some type of relationship there that can actually be salvaged between Mando and Mayfield, because they're not that different. They're really not that different. And even Mayfield even says that. He's like, look, we're not that different, you and I. So this is going to be a very interesting final conflict between these two characters for this season. I don't know how it's going to end. My guess is that Gideon doesn't die. I don't think people have said, oh, Gideon's going to die. I don't think so, especially because they announced the Ahsoka show. It ain't going to happen. I thought maybe they'd kill him off and they'd bring in one of the best characters, one of the best villains of all time, Admiral Thrawn. I was like, oh yeah, they're going to make Admiral Thrawn the new villain. But after the news of Ahsoka, no way. No way. Moff Gideon will stay alive somehow. Something's going to happen. Maybe Mando loses. I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen. Maybe this will just be a setup episode into the season premiere of next season. I don't know. All I know is I'm very excited of what they're going to do. I think it's going to be epic. I think it's going to be a very great conclusion to the season. I've loved season 2 so far. What they've done this season with Mandalorian has been some of the best Star Wars stuff I've seen since the original trilogy. And I really have faith and believe full-heartedly in my heart that they will continue on this path. Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, these two are great. They are masterminds. They're so good playing in the Star Wars sandbox. And honestly, I'm so excited for what the future holds of this series of The Mandalorian, which will probably have 4 or 5 seasons, and Ahsoka and this new Rangers show. Like I'm all about it. I'm ready. Give me more Star Wars. That is what I want. And this episode really offered a lot of new, interesting perspectives that I maybe didn't see before in terms of Mando. What is the personal conflict in his head right now? What is he thinking about? And clearly he's made his primary focus not on Mandalorian, not on his creed, not on his rules that are established with the Mandalorian creed that he's a part of, but about the child. And that, to me, shows why and how it is so important that they get the child back, and why I'm theorizing that the child maybe no longer uses the Force. That's my theory. I really think that because of the fact that he's so connected to the Mandalorian, and the Mandalorian's so connected to him, that could get in the way. So we'll see what happens. Is a Jedi actually going to show up for the season finale like Ezra or some of the other ones that have been kind of theorized? I don't think so. I think they're going to save that for season 3. I really do. I don't think we have time to get to that in season in this final episode. If they do, great. Maybe it'll be like the last minute that they show some type of character who's going to be in here for season 3. But that's about that's about it. That's all they can pretty much justify. There's so much going on. There's so much to do that I really don't feel like they are going to introduce the Jedi that reaches out to Grogu at all until maybe the last minute, and that could be it potentially. But anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. I really liked it. The last minute is incredible, and I'm so excited for this upcoming episode. Let me know what you guys think of this episode, The Believer, Season 2, Episode 7, Chapter 15 of The Mandalorian, down below in the comment section of this video. If you're watching after the fact, which most of you are, I like to do these live because I like to kind of talk off the cuff about stuff and kind of give my unfiltered thoughts and opinions on The Mandalorian, which is a show that I've come to really just love. And it's some of the best Star Wars I've seen in a while. His face from Game of Thrones. Yes, Mitchell. Yes. He has a great, beautiful face, man. Pedro Pascal is a handsome dude. Very happy to see that he's going to show his face a little bit more Mandalorian. I think he's taking off the helmet probably for good, potentially. We'll see what happens. Or he's just going to become a part of Bo-Katan's group. And he can, remove the helmet when he wants, essentially. We'll see what happens. Mitchell, yeah, have a great night, man. Thanks for being here. I loved having you here, dude. Really appreciate the condolences. And appreciate you being here, man, live. That's really nice of you. But yeah, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. I don't usually make these long. It's not like a live AMA or anything, but we will be doing another live stream very soon. That's a live AMA. We will be doing, coming up this week. I have, I will be leaving for Idaho for a couple days. But I have on tomorrow is Life Day. So I'll be doing that video. That video will be out tomorrow. We have Wednesday a review of the 0% on Rotten Tomatoes movie Pinocchio from Bertolini, so that'll be interesting. And then also this week we will be doing a 10 Christmas movies I hate video, or like 10 really bad Christmas movies or whatever, something to that of those lines. And then next week we'll have a couple more, as well as Friday we'll be doing our season finale and season finale review. And I'm hoping next week I can maybe bring some of my friends along to talk about this season of The Mandalorian. Maybe not next week. Maybe we'll do it in like a few weeks down the line, but I'd really love to talk about Mandalorian with some of my friends. Before I go, have you watched No Strings Attached with Natalie Portman and Ashton Kutcher? I have seen it. It's all right. It's all right. It's not bad. Not bad. But yeah, anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching this after the fact. Make sure you click that like button if you enjoy this type of content, these reviews. I always love talking Mandalorian and Star Wars. By the way, did you see my new poster? Yeah, I love that poster. It's great. Also, if you're brand new, consider hitting the subscribe button. We're so close to 500 subscribers, guys. Let's try to get there by the end of this year. I know we can do it. It's been a long road. It's been a long time coming. So I really want to hit that 500 subs goal and help me get there. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys tomorrow on Life Day, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.